Good frosty morning. I hear chickens in the distance, or rooster I should say. Anyway, put the little short video of this thing running there 2 days ago. And Roosty 6, so if anyone drop my mitts. Anyone that doesn't know who Roosty 6 is, a fellow grain farmer, but he's in Saskatchewan. Has some of these old tractors and such, and yeah, he noticed this oil filter being sitting upright, and he said all the 30 series that he'd ever seen are laying on their side. And I think he's right. So this oil filter housing is factory to this engine, but after doing some Google and a little research on my own farm, I believe this engine is out of something much older than I originally thought. So, like my shadow. Anyway, it is not even, I don't know what it is, 7:40 in the morning. So, some of the things I'm going to show you, I guess, we'll go over the 900 and then we'll compare, and then we'll walk over to a 730 that is a 63, so 3 years older than the body of this tractor. But so the first difference, obviously, filter upright. There is an antifreeze port right here. You can drain the coolant, so that comes through the filter housing, but obviously can't circulate. When I would change the oil in this tractor, pull that plug, drain the oil, clean that. I was thinking there was no provisions for a block heater, but it sure does have. They used a pencil tip block heater. You'll see that plug is cast into the engine block. We're gonna go around to the other side. The oil fill cap, take note of that. This injection pump, much like the 900, drain line, it's never been on there, but obviously would have just went to right there and pissed out on the ground. And then this filter housing system would be off of a 30 series, I'm thinking. Obviously power steering has been mounted to it. The decompression style heads, which I gutted. And this motor is an A267D. So I'll have to look that up a little bit. But anyways, okay. You got that all noted? Let's walk over the 900. I forgot to mention what I was thinking my 66 730 engine is, and I believe it's either a 400 engine or a 700B, but the 700B that I could find online has some differences, but the 400 engine minus the two filters on the side of the engine block looks very much the same, with the filler hole in the front and that style of injection pump, and a couple other things that images I found online. So I'm guessing that that engine's out of something like a 55 to 57, or a 700B was 58 to 59 only made. So yeah, that engine's like 10 years older than that tractor. So anyway, thought I'd throw that in there. Off to the 900. Okay, we're over at the old 900. So, I would say same filter housing. Obviously taller oil filter, but otherwise same housing, same drain, same antifreeze port, 6-banger motor, but same kind of plug, hole for a block heater, and probably a hole for a block heater. As I'm guessing, I don't think that's an oil port. So could have 2 pencil tip block heaters in this engine. Obviously somebody put that on there, prior owner or whatever. But okay, so that looks, and this tractor's a 57. Let's go around to this side. Note the oil filler looks very much like the motor in that 730. And this pump with the drain down to the ground, similar dipstick, but yet has 2 fuel filters. So maybe that other engine would have had 2 fuel filters. Looking online, I didn't see any 400s or 700Bs with 2 fuel filters. All just had a single filter here. So let's wander over to the 730 that is in the 60s and compare that. That sun is in a bad spot. So this is a 63, 64-ish 730 case, dual range, high and low, 4-speed manual transmission. Quite a few differences as far as the tractor goes. The whole hydraulic setup is like the older, kind of like the 900, but a little bit different. It would be similar to the 930 that Ian has. An 830 Case-O-Matic that Ian used to have. Same hydraulic pump. But you will note the engine, so obviously the loader's kind of in the way. No oil filler. Injection pump is way different. This style, I believe you can add oil in. No, this style oil's from the engine. So you see the pipe that's hooked to the injection pump, and it drains back into the engine block. The T-handle style oil dipstick, and you also would add engine oil there, like my 830. We can wander up to the 832 and have a look. Something I did notice on this, having a quick peek, it looks different, but whoa, where are we at? It also has a frost plug cast into this block. It has the oil filter on its side, but also looks different than my 830 a little bit. So I would say that no coolant. Yeah, I was thinking these are oil cooled, but I would say that there's no way, unless something right here can transfer antifreeze around in there. But I don't know without taking one off and having a peek. What else we got? Block heater hole, 4 bolts on the back of the motor, whatever that would have held, or options to hold. Yeah, so like I said, this engine would be more like what the 730 is supposed to have. And obviously this is 730. Okay, let's wander up to the 830, have a quick peek, and end this. So we're at the old 830 case I used to feed cows with. Yeah, better look at the injection pump. So this injection pump is very similar to the one on that 730. Obviously it was rebuilt or whatever because there's no paint on it. Sorry, I'm huffing and puffing. A little bit of a walk. No oil filler cap, just dipstick. So unturn that. Oh, look at that, full oil dripping all over. So you'd also add engine oil right there. Just let me close this up. And yeah, and then this pump, I believe there are oil. They get engine oil, and that's why there's a drain back to the engine. I was also told, and I don't know this, somebody will correct me if I'm wrong, these heads would be like a 1030 case. So they had the bigger head gasket. On a 730, use the same head gaskets as a 930. And I was into that 730 there before too, but Yeah. So anyway, then this also has the oil filter sitting sideways. I'll just change oil April 22. And like I said before, I had been told they had went to this style because there was antifreeze that flowed through here, but I don't see how now that I'm really looking at it. I would have swore that's why, but it looks like just that coolant passage goes that way. And maybe they had an option for an oil cooler, but it doesn't appear that any of my tractors have that option. Also, this cast is completely different. No frost plug here. So there's quite a few differences to note between the years. I don't know. That other one has a tag on the valve cover, but I don't remember if this one does or not. Oh, it is. It's hiding though behind stuff. Yeah, there's writing in there. So it'd be cool to see what the model number of that engine is, but that filter housing is in the way. Yeah, so, what else can we say about this? And then obviously the heads have been changing this. This motor didn't burn no oil or nothing. It dripped a bit. Front engine seal would have had to have been replaced. It really needed a clutch. Tires are just getting sad. Yeah, and the oldest this tire can be is a 2004, which is what, 21 years old. So they sure didn't handle life very well, but of course it always sat outside that I know of. But yeah, they're ready to have a kitten. Of course, this one has a cab. It also had a speedometer that worked. And this is a 66, if I remember right. Well, I'm sure it is. Gotta come put some air in this tire. Speedometer drives right here. Yeah, but this cab would have to come off, and a guy would need to pull the tank and well, maybe he wouldn't have to take the cab off, but it'd be a bit of a bitch. You have to slip the tank out. That's right full of fuel. I should drain it off. And when I filled it up the morning, the tranny piled up. And then the gear shift comes out of the high and low range like the older ones, but then it has this linkage up to the gear shift on the dash. But anyway, I know guys call these hopeless cases, but this thing was damn good to me. I cut hay, raked hay, pulled a chain baler with it. That chain baler right there, skidded it around with this tractor. You know, guys may be making 500 bales a year, but, and then it would generally unload hay here. We would load with Dad's tractor on the other side. But anyway, enough of my gibber gabbering. Just thought I'd do a comparison. Oh, one more thing to note on the back. So this looks just like the 730. This pump obviously was never done, or somebody bought a rattle can. That fitting did blow off on me one time in 30 or 40 below. But yeah, you had transmission oil there. Has a pump kind of similar to the, say, like the 1175. So they were already gearing up to the newer style from that 730 that I showed you, the 63 one. So yeah, they definitely were advancing as they were going. So empty. This thing frickin' was an ether hog. Oh, that's for haying. Need the bug spray. And then obviously it was feeding cows with it when it quit. Baler twine all over. Had a little heater in here somebody stuck in. It wasn't great. Oh, look at the old cheater shaft. Even ran the grain vac with this tractor. So, yeah. Okay, another 2 minutes went by. I'll quit yakking, but we'll throw something together. I guess I can show you this dirt work. So cutting the top of this hill off with the stagger and filling this low spot in. Where the tractor's sitting, quite a bit of that hill has to come down yet. But we have several hours into this. And I thought, oh, it'd be just, you know, a couple hour job. Yeah, right. So I don't know, I must have 4 or 5 hours of pushing now. So, but yeah, I was hitting frost again last night. You can see how the dozer blade bite down and couldn't push there. We'll show you some shiny spots. So there was this is all hard like a rock last night here. So yeah. So anyway, she's glassy. So yeah, we gotta let some more frost come out of the ground, and then we'll peel some more of this hill off and keep filling the slough. And yeah, anyway, we'll talk to you all later. Have a great day. There's me. Yeah, spring is quickly approaching. Lots to get ready, and there'll be probably several more videos. So gotta break some more land, I guess. Got a phone call yesterday from a feller north of me. He wants me to take some of his hay out, I guess, and crop it, and so you sign a 5-year lease. So that's cool. All the worrying, I'm getting gray. But anyway, yeah, expand the grain farm out, I guess. For one reason, I really want to get them. Where are they at? Over there. Get the cows, more numbers on the cows. So we will have to keep expanding a little bit to make all that happen. But anyway, everyone, take care. Like, subscribe, comment. Tell me what you know about these old Case tractors. It's interesting, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.